Right, we're back with a Yeti and we're in the junk end of the house, hence why you can see some disabled batteries here. Speaking of disabled batteries, this is one that I bought brand new as a trolling battery, and it's a few years old, but I've generally kept it topped up. Same size as the one that came out of that, except this is a deep cycle AGM. Now we have an Anderson plug on here. There is a giant Anderson plug in the back of this thing that goes direct to the battery through some fuses. I don't want to make an adapter, but there's room in the front. I can probably drill a hole and hang it out the front, or put a flush mount one. Either way, this battery will fit in there. I think that's what we're going to do. This one's been outdoors for a bit, so we're going to get some contact cleaner up here. Going to give these terminals a bit of a scrub, get them good and clean before we go and put stuff on them. Okay. Take out the locking bar and the charger and fold this out of the way. Okay, set these guys up somewhere, keep them out of the way. We should be able to drop this in. Negative's got to be on that side. Beautiful, like it was made for it. Now I'm going to put these screws back in the side first, because clearly they're not necessary to have removed. Then I'm going to see about drilling a hole in here. Okay, so I see a problem. Locking bar is going to short that out. We will have to flip this around, and I hope there's enough room to swap these across terminals. We'll see.
A few moments later.
Okay, so it fits. Terminals go on. Anderson plug is a little tight. We can probably work with that later. But it's in. I wonder if we get anything on the front panel. Alright, we have some life showing 80%, which would be about commensurate with what you expect. Might plug it in to see if it charges in a minute, and then we can work out what to do with the rest of it. Right, so this is the weedy little charger. This is only good for 5 amps. I normally charge this thing on about 16. If I'm to charge a 130 amp hour battery on 5 amps with the losses, that's like 3 days to bring it up to charge. But it does work as a trickle charger, so we'll look at that. Alright, reckons we're charging at about 50 watts or thereabouts. Probably what I'd expect for that level of battery. But it does work, which is nice. I guess we could plug 2 in looking at this. And it's an old Dell laptop style charger. I wish they'd just use a standard Anderson plug. But anyway, if I drill this in, or drill a hole through here, hook up my Anderson connected to it, I can connect direct to the battery and plug my 16 amp charger into it, no worries. Or I could get an adapter for this thing, which could work. It might be more expensive than the solution I've got. But I'm quite happy with the plug just hanging out the front, so that might be what we do. Anyway, I'm going to leave this charge. It's getting dark out here. I've got other stuff to do tonight. We'll come back to that tomorrow.
The next morning.
Alright, next morning, around about lunchtime, it's dropping between 1 and 4 watts charging. So we can probably unplug that, which means it has charged. Are we able to power up? Turn on AC. Okay, these things seem to work. USB. I've got separate little relays for things in here. It's all pretty good. I do need to find some of these like mini connectors, so I can plug solar into it and whatnot. But it's looking pretty good. So now we're going to add Anderson plug to the outside. We're going unfused direct to the battery. Dangerous idea. Probably don't do this yourself. But I do want a direct connection for a bunch of different reasons. And I will have appropriate fusing on the other side of this, even though it's not recommended. You really do want fusing on the inside. Although, not that they've done that with this connection. But this is also, if you can't buy big cable, use lots apparently. I'm not sure if I like that idea. I'd rather use a single bigger conductor, but it works. And this was free. And this is battery that's been here for a couple of years. So let's move this out of the way. we're going to drill some holes. We're going to try and thread this in. If it will reach, it probably will. And then hopefully we'll be able to screw this on the front there somewhere. Right, so cable lengths were going to be a bit of a problem. So I lined the front panel up, pre-drilled a hole. I've got this bolted on with a little 3mm nut and bolt. I'm thinking I might actually just make a couple of little slots here and run it through. But I do have the step drill. So we'll see. We'll find a way to get them cables in. Right, so they started out nice pre-drilled holes. They turned into slots that got rough and janky, but the cables will go through them. Right, this is when I sit in a very unladylike fashion and remove the negative terminal. Hopefully. There we go. And we will reattach with more contact cleaner wherever it's gone. It's down there. I should use electrical contact cleaner lube for this, but we'll work with it. So that goes under the top of the washers. These guys need contact clean. And we'll reattach. There's loads of meat on that thread, so we'll have plenty to hold it in. Shockingly, the lid went on quite smoothly. So if you were to do this yourself, you've just got to pull those 4 screws off and lift the whole thing out. Obviously, because of the stuff I've done, things aren't quite seating right because this is pushing up, but we'll work on that. All right, I left all 4 of these screws in the box on the top here, which surprisingly works well. You can take the whole lid off without having to lose stuff out of that box. Drop our 4 screws in loosely. Same as the battery terminals, is the size of the Allen key. Screw straight back in the metal frame. Alrighty, we'll do the other 3 and we'll be back. I forgot one bit. I was just cinching these down. I went, nope, I see a problem, namely these bits. So we have to undo the 2 rears. And we have to pull this guy up, plonk you back in, then plonk you on. That's better. Right. Do these up firm. Alright. I'm down here and I'm not up there tending to the perch for the birds. So the local magpies have stopped in to see what I'm doing. How you doing, buddy? Is it lunchtime? I better go do something about that. Oh, I've got some goodies in my hand here. How you doing, buddy? Here you go, buddy. Goodies for you. There you go. Alright, the magpie's happy. I've just got a couple of these screws to cinch up a little. Just check them that they're all tight. 1, 2, 3, 4. While I'm staring at the camera. The next step is... Oh, sorry dude, I freaked you out. Okay. A little bit jumpy, that one. They're not all like that. It's okay, dude. He's over there, he didn't go too far. There you go. Yeah, he understood. When I said it's okay, dude, he's okay. And that's a magpie statue we've got up there. Alright, we've got a fan now. Let's, can we plug in with that one? Why not? Yes, we can plug in around about that. Let's see if AC works. It's working right. Pulling about 40 watts. Let's spin that around. Windy camera. Pulling about 40 watts. It's okay. Let's see if other side works. Other side indeed works. We have mains. That's cool. Just because some days I am SAMRT smart, I want to make sure I get these the right way around. Check the positive is positive. I might just try it this way. Here we go. We are 13 volts. Polarity is correct. So I did wire that the right way around. Now, I was going to plug in a 12 volt halogen into the lighter socket that pulls about 6 or 7 amps and see how it goes. Don't think I really need to do that. There's probably plenty of videos out there to talk about the Yeti 1250. Today though, this was just meant to be a quick refurb, see if the donation will work. And yes, we've been able to make it work, and I'll probably get a couple of bucks back for the lead in the old battery. It is shocking to hear that they put just standard sealed lead acids in these SLAs. They're old tech, they always fail. Actually, speaking of which, it's an SLA in this. I need to check that this still turns over. Alright, battery's still good. So yeah, that's the donation of the Yeti 1250. Thank you very much for Jesse, the cameraman, who dropped this off to me. And we can put this back into service. Instead of having just a rando battery sitting up here, I might clean it out under here, make a nice little offset, and this will keep it safe from the weather and little bits of rain. And we need to clean this junk table up anyway. That's this month's job, is clean all this up, get rid of what's left of the firewood under there, and that'll make room to thread some more fiber cable under there too that we need to do. So yeah, this is the less than glamorous part of the house. Anyway, we'll see you on the next video. I hope this was an interesting one, or at least useful to you guys, and we'll do something else again in future.